Okay, now we're recording.
Okay. But it's a good point. Like it's a good place to start off
Mm-hmm.
with talking about like I remember thinking about the women that because this is the perfect jump off point for the stuff we were talking about last week. Um but like I didn't really care too much. I don't really care too much about like I guess it's cuz like the concept of like as a teen, I mean for me, I didn't get into a serious relationship or worry about what you'd have to do for a relationship. So you just be like, I want to fuck that person. I don't know how completely, I'm not entirely sure how it works for both parties, but I'm going to do it to that person. Specifically Trish Stratus, Tori Wilson. You got some?
Um,
Stacy
what?
Keibler.
So yeah, Stacy Keibler was one of the first
Let's
that
start
I
it off.
remember having like an active like crush on.
This is good. Let's start off on a misogynist note.
Apparently, so like I don't know. It depends on how we have the conversation, right? Like if we're just gonna like rate and talk about how hot women are, then like yeah, it's misogynistic.
I like boobs.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast all about wrestling. In this corner, an author and a black belt, Kibbles.
Kibbles? What kind of name is that?
Pookie the Wolf is the best.
I forgot my cockies. And in this corner, Pookie the Wolf.
Pookie the Wolf is one of the best.
Welcome to the Kibbles and Pookies Squared Circle.
Why
There.
is your like titty cock not filled with boobs and poop?
That's gross. Welcome everybody to another episode of Kibbles and Pookie Squared Circle.
The squared circle have arrived.
Yeah,
Scissor
we're
me, daddy.
scissoring right now. You can't see it though. Yeah. So getting back to it, I didn't want to mess that up though. But go ahead. Yeah, I mean, I don't rate women on their. There's women out there.
So here's the thing, right?
Go
I
ahead.
don't think it's misogynistic if we are discussing about the way that women were previously portrayed versus how women are portrayed now, coupled with the thought process of a juvenile while women were being portrayed that way.
Yeah.
Versus like I think I think juveniles are still going to think that way because they're just hardwired to think about things like that more.
Yeah.
But
See, that comes to mind Mandy Rose and Lions.
Nakia Lyons.
Nakia Lyons.
But there's also like women are portrayed in a very different light in professional wrestling now than they used to be. So
Yeah.
like it's like the conversation isn't about us rating women or being hot or whatever. Like the conversation is about like how they were portrayed versus how they're portrayed now, and the over like them preying on like younger males who are going through that growth and
yeah.
and like
Well,
capitalizing
so
on
this
that.
is the thing. Also, I kind of don't think like if we did that, I don't think I would look at it in a way of who's the sexiest. I think I would think of it of who would I think that I would connect the most with.
Now you're talking about.
Yes, it's
Okay,
also a
okay.
change in my mind. Like you said, you
Right.
you did say it's a change. Like there's certain people that would go, oh, I feel like I'd be able to have like nice conversations with them. The thing you said, and we said it before before you started recording, but like Nyla Rose, if I knew how things would work between us sexually, I'd be like, that'd be a person I can connect with on a level. I don't know how that works. I don't know. We're getting into weird territory, but she's someone right now where I'd be like, I'd love to just have a conversation about whatever, video games.
Yeah,
Venom.
She had me dying on the
Exactly.
the latest Ethan Page toy hunt that came out today.
Like I feel like that's the thing I look for now, where it's just like, who can I just have a fun time with? Not like, who's the sexiest?
Right, and
Like Chris Statland's another one where like I feel like I'd love just talking to her and just picking her brain about stuff.
Yeah, and there's two aspects to it, right? The first aspect is you growing up as you growing as a person, and the fact that like in your 30s you don't think the same way as you did when you're like
it's
15.
also social media has made it easier to know someone better
Right.
than just going, they are just a doll that
Right.
I'm going to have sex with.
Right. Being able to like see what they're into and connect with what they're into.
Yeah, exactly.
And also like wrestling has drastically dumbed down the over sexualization of women.
Yeah,
So it's
which is good.
it's a lot easier for like our brains to make that connection now.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing where like there's and even like like you said, like your taste change as you grow older. But yeah, I mean that was the thing I thought about because of to come I started off with that. I said I don't know why I said I was gonna say to come off of. And
I
just
thought you were
said
going to say to come full circle.
I was gonna, but I just said to come, and I'm like, oh god, and we're talking about sex. But my point was that, the I don't know if it's rumored or I didn't really read too much up on it, but one of the women from the Vince McMahon thing came out as far when I didn't come out because I'm sure they signed something to make sure they didn't, but there was like rumors of one of the women that they thought was a part of it, which was shit, I can't remember.
Came out as in they're saying that like it wasn't
Like they were the ones who had to sign, like it was a completely legal thing,
right.
but the fact that I guess people want to know who it is, like it matters.
It doesn't. And they're entitled to their privacy.
Joy Giovanni, that was it.
Okay. Chris Jericho had an interesting thing to say on the podcast, on a podcast. It wasn't his. It was a different podcast. Somebody asked.
Was it that there was no such thing as a botch?
No.
Because it turns out he said that recently. I don't know from or why or where, but go ahead. Sorry.
So the person had asked him because they were like, oh, like Vince portrays this person on TV about being this womanizer and compromising positions, all these things, and then we find out like he's doing it in his real life. And the person had asked like, do they think anything is going to come of it? And ultimately Chris Jericho was like, no, like he'll lay low. Chris Jericho was saying based on what he knows right now is that all of the sexual relationships were, essentially agreed upon by both parties, and then he paid them to sign an NDA. All of these things are legal. Like morally, are they good? No. Like morally, it's not good, and ethically, it's not good. But did he break any laws or anything? And right now, the answer is no.
Yeah.
They were all.
I mean, no.
Right.
But yeah,
it would be different if something comes to light where he was doing one of two things. One, he was doing something where the woman actively was telling him, no, I don't want this, and him forcing himself, which would be assault.
Mm-hmm.
The other one would be that if things were to come out and happen or whatever where people were getting salary jumps or were being held back and things of that nature because they were or were not having sexual relations with him.
Yeah.
So far, it's and again, I don't know all the information of these NDAs. I'm not doing research or anything, but like I'm kind of siding right now. I'm just siding with what Chris Jericho's saying. Did he break any laws? No. Everything he was doing was legal as far as we're aware.
Yeah.
Morally and ethically, was it good? No.
And that was the stuff we talked about last week.
Yeah, right.
But the weirdest thing that I like when I saw something on Joy Giovanni, and I thought it was weird that she was only in WWE for about a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's just, and I feel like I remember her working with the Big Show for some reason. I don't remember.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway,
to just plug one more Chris Jericho thing before I forget.
Go for it.
Today I had a long car ride, and I like to listen to podcasts on long car rides, and so I listened to Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho, and it was 2 or 3 episodes ago, a recent episode he had Anthony Bowens on, and that was actually a really good interview. He talked about like coming out, him hiding his relationship with his current boyfriend for like multiple months before he came out. He talked about how him and Max Caster were put together. He talked about how the scissoring thing came to be.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about how he had multiple WWE tryouts. So
Really?
it was a really good It was a really
Out
good.
of all the things you said, I'm like, that's the one that's like, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that one.
Yeah, I think he said he had been to like 3 tryouts, and each time it was something a little different. Like the first one, they were like, "You're a really great athlete, but you don't have the promo skills and stuff." I think the second time was there was something else to work on. And the third time, they were actually going to sign him to. He was saying they actually offered him a contract, and then that was at the same time that AEW offered him something and was going to put him with Max Caster, and he decided to choose AEW over the NXT contract.
Wow.
And the origins of the scissoring is pretty funny to listen to.
Really? See that I watched the I want to say either the AEW unofficial or whatever it was called, the
Their podcast
unrestricted. Either that one or it was Renee doing an interview with them. I forget which one.
I like both of those.
Those are two people that two of them that I like watching. I think Renee's more. I would prefer Renee over the other two.
I agree.
Other two, I mean, it's Tony Schiavone and Aubrey Edwards, the ref. Just for people who are just listening that don't know wrestling, but Tony Schiavone is an announcer. There we go. So I cleared all my bases. I think it's funny that we recorded and no one can see it, but we started off talking about women, and I'm wearing a women's wrestling shirt, and you're wearing a women's wrestling shirt, and I was like, that's interesting.
Oh, I had to look down because I legit didn't know what shirt I had
She's wearing Ember Moon, or Athena, the fallen goddess, which they need to say the fallen goddess after every time they... Well, not every time, but they have to say it every time she's announced or has a match or something. They're like, Athena, the fallen goddess. Well, just say Athena. You don't have to do all that. You can stop that.
I had to look down because most of the time I just grab whatever shirt is on top of the pile.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what shirt am I wearing?
Top of the pile. What
shirt am I wearing?
Britt Baker. By the way, I set up the box today.
Good.
Set up the AEW Elite Crate, which
I got to show you the So one of the things that they tend to you always get 2 shirts. So far you always get a Micro Brawler figure. You always get a pin. So far, and so the latest box that we just got has I'm telling him this because he only got the T-shirts because he missed the thing.
Yeah. I was gonna explain.
So it had it had a Malachi Black pin, but I was confused because like it has like his horn demon mask thing, and it says pin. It said like pin magnet combo, and I was like, oh cool, because like I was like, I don't know where to put these pins. I don't really do pins. Of course, my fiance was like, put them on your backpack because you take your backpack places when you're filming. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I should do that. Anyway, I was like, oh, cool. This is a magnet. I could put it on my fridge and like actually see it and use it. And then I was I guess enthralled, surprised when I realized that it's a combo because the mask is a magnet that you can take off.
What?
And it's his face underneath, and his face is the pin.
That is cool.
And I was like, this is fucking awesome. This is the coolest pin thing I've ever seen before. I'll have to show it to you after this.
The side note, what I'm gonna do with my pin stuff is, and people can do it at home as well.
They can?
I have a cork board.
You
get a nice cork board and just set all your pins up on the cork board.
Is this something you can try at home?
You can, you can try this at home as well.
I was doing a cork board with the WWE pins. When I was doing the WWE Slam crate for a while, they would always have a pin, and it was always one of the championship belts. And I had them like all on a cork board for a while.
That's a cool thing to do for at least for pins to just have the titles.
Yeah, I think part of their issue was, if I recall, it had to be because I had so many of them. Theirs was a monthly subscription crate, and
like their pay-per-views.
Yeah, and a lot of times it was like there wasn't enough variety and things that were like good enough for me to like have it every month. So I eventually canceled it.
Yeah,
I was like, the shirts are cool, but like,
well, that's why you sold me on the AEW one because it's for every year.
Yeah, it's only quarterly, which I think is like a perfect number for that type of thing.
And I think it's there's there's not many people. I don't think with AEW I'm gonna go, oh, it's this person. I don't feel like I'll do that.
Yeah. And
'Cause,
there's like
even the stuff I saw in the next grade, I'm like, oh, it's a great lineup. Like the least favorite one was like Abaddon, and I'm like, everybody else I love. I mean, like, I like Abaddon too, but there's everyone I kind of know from that like the lineup.
Yeah, it's also very interesting looking at the quality of each crate, like having had both of them, because they're roughly the same price point. I think the AEW crate is like maybe $5
It's
more.
because the WWE pins didn't have magnets attached to them.
They didn't have magnets attached to them. But like here's the thing, right? Like the AEW crate is like maybe $5 more than the WWE one, maybe $10 tops more. The WWE one you'd only get one shirt. This one you get two. This one you get the micro brawler figure, and WWE there was all these different things. They had like a little while where there was like 4 figures, so the next like 4 crates had the next figure in it.
Yeah.
There was like a set of 4 for whatever. They both had the pins. This one had the AEW has a signed 8x10, which WWE never had anything signed. And like it's not, and they've been pretty good. Like the first one was Sheeta, or maybe one of them was Sheeta. Another one was Anna J, if I recall correctly.
I think you showed me the Anna J one.
Yeah, QT Marshall and
Marshall.
Preston Vance.
Okay.
And this past one was Wardlow.
Oh yeah, Wardlow. I was gonna say Wardlow's one of them because I remember.
Yeah, Wardlow, and I was like, this is like a big deal that like it's a Wardlow autograph.
It's a good value, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't get to go see him, so
I didn't
it's
get
like
to go see
you
him.
got his signature now.
I was like, this is perfect.
yeah, that's
I
awesome.
really want to go see those guys.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I want to
I
talk.
can't.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that because I had the one I found. The two I found were the Legends of Hamburg, and that's
Right.
next week. And then in August, there's one Icons of Wrestling in Philly as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna do both.
I 100% cannot do both.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like this weekend, and then the next one's like 2 or 3 weeks later.
Yeah.
I like I said, I really want to go because I really want to meet the Acclaimed. I just don't think I can make it work this weekend.
And yeah,
It's just one of those things where like the schedule is just not gonna.
No,
it's just
yeah,
not
I
gonna
get
work
it.
out.
And it's something that I found a couple weeks ago out of nowhere.
It might have worked if it was closer, but like it's also like an hour and 15 minutes away or something like that. And I was like, okay, then until you add traffic and lights, it's more like an hour and a half. And I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
That's 3 hours round trip. I
think
can't make that work.
The acclaimed, and for me, the Acclaimed in Dark Order.
Those are really the only
John Silver and Alex.
them two and Kennedy are really the only ones I want to meet that are there.
Yeah. For me, it was that, and instead of Kennedy, it would be Booker T.
Yeah.
But like,
There
there's a lot of people. There was probably a lot of people there, but there's not that many people you go, oh yeah, I want to meet that person. It's kind of like, oh, they were in wrestling at one
It's a
point.
smaller one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Speaking of which, when I was looking through those old photos, and I sent you that one where I met Booker T, I saw it and just didn't snap a picture to send it to you. Like I forgot to. I was like, oh, I'll take a picture real quick. I also, when I at that same TNA event, met Lethal Consequences, which was Jay Lethal and Austin Creed.
I was gonna say he's gonna say something about Austin Creed,
and I was like, oh shit, I completely forgot that I had met Austin Creed when he was in.
That's awesome.
In TNA.
That's awesome. He's on TV now.
He's on TV now.
That's crazy. So yeah, that was something.
He was on TV then. It was Spike TV.
But you met him, and then he's on TV now.
That's true. Yes,
he's still on TV.
I met a bunch of people at that one.
I'm stupid. He's on SmackDown every Friday, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
not thinking, obviously.
I met a bunch of people. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley.
So I'm sorry, but getting back to it, the August one has
yes.
Kurt Angle. Because you said Kurt Angle, I thought of the August one. August one has Kurt Angle, Wardlow,
Jamie
Jamie Hayter, which is one of the top ones for me, And I'm really excited because I looked recently and didn't see this before, but one half of the AEW Tag Team Champions, Swerve Strickland, is going to be there.
Yep.
I was like, that's pretty cool as well.
They also are going to have Chelsea Green, Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae. Some pretty big names.
I was going to say the Gorganos.
The Garganos.
That's just fun to say.
Maybe they'll have Quill with them.
Yeah, maybe not.
Probably not.
That seems like a bad idea.
It does seem like a bad idea.
Don't bring a baby to that.
I'm pretty sure I saw Athena's going to be there.
I haven't seen that.
I noticed that they tend to post on Facebook, and then it's like a week or two until the website gets updated. Like they announce something on Facebook, and it'll be like a couple days till the website gets updated.
It's really weird the way I've been finding them out.
But I'm pretty sure I saw Athena's going to be there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean,
I really want to go to that one.
yeah, that one's a big one.
I'm also desperately afraid I'm going to spend like $1,000.
Exactly. That's the problem. I mean, God, this is just terrible. But some great people. Like, I would love to meet Swerve, because like,
yeah, Swerve's a good one.
that's a cool. That would be a cool person to meet.
Okay, you want me to run down a couple names?
Yeah, let's do it. We'll talk about this tonight. Tonight, whatever. Let me grab my green tea. You go ahead.
He's grabbing his green tea. We got Kurt Angle,
I
Wardlow,
can
Jamie
tell him
Hayter, Ken Shamrock, newly added.
Ooh,
Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, Slick, Scorpio Sky,
Oh, former TNT champion.
Penelope Ford, Sean Spears, Swerve Strickland.
Pennsylvania's own. Right?
Uh,
Pennsylvania?
Who,
I
Sean
wanna say
Spears?
No, Penelope. She's from Pennsylvania.
Oh, Penelope. Yeah, she's from Philly. Tasha Steeles.
Yeah, but I can't be wrong if I say Philadelphia or
Oh, you're right.
Pennsylvania, because then I'm like, well, it's somewhere. She's somewhere in there.
Somewhere. Stu Grayson, One Man Gang, Chelsea Green, JTG, Brian Kendrick, Jasmine Allure, Charlie Haas, Harry Smith, Jordan Blue, Lee Moriarty,
Hey.
Alpha Jr., Bully Ray.
Hey.
I actually would want to meet Bully Ray.
Cool.
Ricardo Rodriguez, Buddy Matthews, PCO, Tony Nese, Brian Cage. I would so meet Brian Cage. Willie Mack, Rich Swann, Crazy Steve.
There's a guy named Crazy Steve?
Yeah, he's a clown.
He's Crazy Steve. Okay.
Yeah, he's from TNA.
Oh, okay.
Those that's what's on their website.
Is TNA Impact now?
Yes.
I know it's a stupid question, but at least for wrestling people, it's a stupid question.
Sorry,
but
I'm just so used to saying TNA.
Yeah, so
that,
would I, but I was just like, I guess that's Impact now. People just call it Impact. Because then I think tits and ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very, very interesting name to have done that in general. This is probably one of those events where like you spend all day there because they'll have like they'll switch people in and out for times.
Well, wouldn't it make sense because it wasn't it NWA or something like that or something else, and then it became Total Nonstop Action when it went to Spike or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Because boobs and beers on Spike TV. Watch TNA Wrestling.
TNA Wrestling.
If it was a woman, it would give you a blowjob because men and stuff.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. You get it? It's like an over masculine thing. That's the bit I'm doing.
Doors open at 10. A friend of mine's gone to this. I'm gonna ask him, but I don't think it's like not one of those things where like they're there all day. It'll be like, here's 10 wrestlers for a 2-hour block, and you can get in line to try to see as many of them as you can. And then when the time is up, they switch.
Like one of those houses you go to. You ever go to Disney World?
Yes.
Like one of those buildings they have where they just strictly have people you can visit. Like Goofy will be here at 1 to 2, and Donald will be here from 2 to 3.
And like if you're in line and 2:00 hits, like they get up and they walk away, and you're in line for whoever's, or you could get out of line. And walk away.
Or maybe you can't. Maybe there's a guy that says that you can't get out of line.
Can't get out of line. But I'll ask my friend. I'll double check because he's gone before.
He's like, they tricked me. I thought I was gonna be here for Wardlow, and instead I got Crazy Steve.
Well, then there's certain ones you can buy professional like photo ops with. So then they're only selling a certain number of those. So you would have to be able to do those if you bought them.
I want to do a photo with Jamie Hayter and us both shrug, like just
You could do it.
because that's what she does all the time.
Other ones that are announced via their Facebook page, Eric Redbeard,
Oh, hey, that's pretty good.
Enzo and Big Cass.
Both of them?
Mm-hmm.
You can't teach that.
Oh my god, I want to go so bad. I want to meet them. I've met Enzo before. Like oh man, do they have like a professional photo op? Because like, I would pay for that.
You're already starting to go broke.
I know it's bad. It's real bad.
You're ready to be like, shut up and take my money.
Shut up and take.
So you can keep going through, but I wanted to say, what do you think about the I don't even know if it was Rampage or if it was Dynamite, but Britt Baker's sandbag joke?
Didn't like it.
Didn't like it?
Not a fan.
It's weird. She does some stuff and it's hit or miss.
It was weird.
It seems like she tries too hard. I get where she's going, but it's just like, it's too fourth wall-y.
Yeah.
It's too much of a fourth wall.
It was really weird.
It's like when she talked about that Saudi Arabia blood money thing about WWE. And
I at least like that joke.
But it's just too. It's just
It was,
too on the nose. Yeah, we know you're self-aware. You're just too self-aware. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't a fan. I don't know. I just was like, it's not a great joke. I wonder if also part of my like, is like they're like, oh, you're sandbagging. We're gonna fight you in a tag team again. I was like, bitch, we've just done this match. Like, I'm so tired of seeing this match.
See, Kibbles, that's where you're wrong.
We're going to WWE territory here.
This is where you're wrong. We did Ruby Soho and Tony Storm, not Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm.
Didn't they? Oh no, they fought Thunder Rosa. They fought
It was Ruby,
Nyla Rose and okay.
and Shafir.
I guess maybe what I really want is I want like Thunderstorm away from Britt Baker, because like, okay, we did this whole Tony Storm thing.
Yeah, they both fought her.
We did this whole Tony Storm thing. We did this whole like Thunder Rosa thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need to. Give me something fresh.
That's
I'm
like
done with this.
And I wanted to bring up last week because you mentioned about Christian. That's what I felt like with Britt Baker, where she's like, she had to talk to Thunder Rosa before she did that, because that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
She even walked away and said, I tried carrying her around for a month or whatever she said.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn, like, oh, Killer Cross.
Yeah, Killer Cross. I like Killer Cross.
He does a really good Jesse the Body Ventura impression. He's really good at it. Yes, he's really good at it. He did it with that Chris Van.
I'm not seeing a post about Athena. Maybe it was a different thing. I was looking at.
Maybe you're a liar. Yeah, I don't know. So, did we talk about it last week with Big E?
No.
I think you
'Cause I
texted
don't-
me, right?
Yeah, because I don't think it had happened when we recorded last week.
Yeah, because we were talking about how. So Big E won't. Well, possibly not. Is it official or?
It's not. How to put it? He has said that as of right now, with the way his vertebrae are not correctly healing or are not healing, he can't come back. That doesn't mean that it's possible in like 6 to 9 months it heals correctly, like fully correctly, and it's just taking a little longer and he could come back. But if we just go off of the diagnostic of what's occurring right now, he's done.
Great. That's fantastic.
And like if he were to ever wrestle again, he would legitimately risk being paralyzed.
Well, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I get a little upset, and I told you about it, and I kind of went on a rant when you texted me about it. But I just feel like if they kept him with the title, it never would have happened. If they didn't strip him
yeah,
of
you
it,
said it was Brock Lesnar's fault.
I blamed Brock Lesnar because I was like, if he didn't come back and win the title, then he wouldn't have gone. So it's like chain of events. So what was the pay-per-view? I guess it had to be,
It was day one.
Was it day one?
I think it was day one because
Guess what? I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't know what day one means. Is that Backlash?
It was the first. It was a pay-per-view that was on the
that
first
Royal
day of the
Rumble?
year. No, it was no.
What is that equivalent to someone who used to watch WWE?
Remember when they did New Year's resolution?
Okay.
And that was like the first or second week of January.
Oh, day one.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
it was,
okay.
It was literally done on the first day of the year.
I know what it was, but I remember it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? That's
Maybe it wasn't that pay-per-view though. I'm trying to remember.
Royal Rumble?
No, he definitely didn't beat him at Royal Rumble.
Well, wait. Didn't Brock win the Royal Rumble this year?
Yeah. And he fought Bobby Lashley at the Royal Rumble, which means he would have been champion already, which means he would have had to have beaten Big E at day one. Okay,
But
yep.
didn't they? Yeah, didn't they throw him in last minute?
Yep.
Yeah,
Because he was supposed to fight Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns got COVID.
And then he won the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then because he won the title, that meant that Big E went back to doing fucking stupid shit with the three obnoxious Brits and New Day, which one of the dumb obnoxious Brits, the one that I don't know because I know the other two. Surprisingly, I know who Pete Dunne is. Did I get that
You
right?
mean Butch?
Pete Dunne.
Okay.
I'm not gonna play your fucking games. Pete Dunne and Sheamus. I'm just doing bits now. He would have not gone back to doing New Day stuff, which New Day isn't the problem. It's the fact that they were fighting a group that obviously has a member who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing and decides to throw a fucking guy out of the ring right on his fucking neck. And now one of the actual people from WWE who I legitimately liked and legitimately cared for is now just out, you know, and along the list of, you know, it's like if Charlotte Flair did something stupid and almost like killed Becky Lynch, I'd be like, you fucking pieces of shit. Becky Lynch, anyone from New Day, who else?
Did you see the bump, by the way?
Rey Mysterio, the Big E one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it looked so bad.
Awful.
Oh,
Terrible.
It looked like it fucking hurt.
Do you remember, you know what it reminds me of? You remember when Candice Michelle fell off the top turnbuckle?
Yeah.
And almost like broke her friggin' neck? That's what it reminded me of. It was like, that's just unenjoyable to watch. And surprisingly, she's not dead. That's how I just changed that with Big E, and I went, that was horrible to watch, and I'm surprised he's not dead.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
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 Charles Barkley, terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Turd. Hubble.
Speaking of turds, I didn't have
No, you didn't have anything after that.
There was rumors of, and I know it's very small, but another AEW person might leave the company.
Many AEW people have left the company.
Yeah, but this guy's important
This guy's important?
to Sammy Guevara's vlogs. I'm doing the Fuego thing. He comes out and he does it because he does the tornado.
Fuck Fuego. He can go.
Okay.
Don't give a fuck about
Never
that
mind. But he's part of the vlog. He's part of the vlog crew. What? No, you can't tell him. Fuck Fuego. He's got children to feed.
I didn't mean I just meant I don't care about him as a wrestler.
Yeah, it's weird. It's also strange too because on Dark they're trying to do like a storyline with the Factory versus him,
Mm-hmm.
and like they want him
cares?
to join the Factory.
Oh.
Unless maybe that's what they're doing. Well, I mean, that's the one thing I'd really like from Dark, where it's like put some storylines into it,
Mm-hmm.
put some like legitimate like issues into the weekly thing.
My friend says in previous years you're free to get as many people as you can in it's 5 hours, 10 to 3. Says you're free to get as many people as you can in those 5 hours, but you're paying to get in and then paying for each person. They don't really switch people in and out.
Oh, cool.
The tables
So it's like a convention.
tables are set all around. Yes. I was just trying to confirm if this was one of those events where like everybody is just kind of there and you can go to whatever. Or if it was one of those, because there are events where they like have talent and they're like half the talent is available for these 2 hours and half talent's there for the other 2 hours, and it's like here's
So
then
it's
you
10-3.
10-3.
And when is Jamie gonna be out? Because isn't she on British time?
Whatever 10-3 is in British time.
I have to think about
I
it.
think they're like 5 hours ahead of us.
Okay, so she's like what, 5 a.m. We have to get there
Yeah.
early.
Way early.
Early. I don't think there's anyone who's from overseas that's gonna be at that. But we gotta figure it out. Get there, get there for Jamie Hayter, then stay for another 5 hours, and then we'll get the other people.
Yeah.
How much?
This is too much.
How much of a headache do you get dealing with my bullshit?
No headache.
He's rubbing his face right now.
I'm worried about how much money I'm going to spend at this
Oh,
thing.
well, okay. It's not me then, because I try real hard to make this podcast as fun as possible.
It is
and just
fun.
Bullshit. So anyway,
Doe is a deer, a female deer.
Doe, you're gonna be out of
Rainy.
it by August 6th. Because Doe, money.
Yeah. Unless I just don't go, and then I won't spend
That's
money.
true. That's true. But
gonna be
this is
very
also
hard
your
not to.
redemption for Wardlow.
That's also true.
I don't want to
I get
convince
to
you
meet
to go.
Wardlow.
I want you to go on your own accord.
I like how my friend just texted me. He goes, "It can get expensive if you meet a lot of people."
Well, yeah.
I'm not
I'm gonna
stupid.
try not to meet everybody.
You're not going to be able to. I would be surprised if
'cause
you had.
lines.
I would say you probably will get, depending on. So that's also the thing, right? Depends on who you want to meet. Because if you want to meet a bunch of the lower tier stars, like you could do a lot of them probably very quickly. I would honestly say you probably can get through like half of the
I know we
top
talked.
names.
I know, and this is related. I know we talked about the joke's coming. I know we talked about misogyny, but how much do you think it cost for Jamie Hayter to sit on my face?
A lot.
A lot. How much
Should
are we
we-
talking? How many pounds?
Many pounds.
Or is it
Your
quid?
body weight in pounds.
That's a lot of body weight.
That's what I'm telling you. You wanna
Mine or
hear-
hers?
Yours.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of money. I'm not doing good.
You want to hear?
nowadays.
My friend sent me. He said, "Here's everybody I'd like to meet, but I probably won't meet all of them."
Go
Should
for it.
Should we look at the list?
Go for it.
Penelope Ford. He wants to do the combo.
Oh, so he knows the event already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he's been doing a number of them. He goes to conventions,
But
and
he
stuff all
knows the one
time.
we're talking about.
Yes,
Okay.
that's
what
why I
wanted to
asked
make
him.
sure. I know. Is it who we watched Forbidden Door with?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to.
Penelope Ford combo,
Okay.
Chelsea Green combo,
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Hayter,
Okay, that's a lot of women.
Wardlow combo,
Ah, there we go.
Dexter Loomis,
Oh yeah.
Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae. They're doing a dual auto photo op, which he's going to do. That's cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Sean Spears, Buddy Matthews, Tanel Dashwood, Killer Cross, Deanna Peraza. There's like one or two other names in here, but I don't know them, so I'm just not going to bother.
Okay.
So that's his list. His list is like 1, 2.
See, there's a
3,
thing
4,
too,
5,
like-
6.
We could talk about that for a little bit.
It's like 13 people,
You're
and he's probably not going to get to meet all of them.
We talked to you, and I'm gonna keep calling him your friend, just so you know.
Yes.
not to. Yeah, but I was trying not to use his name.
Oh,
So the
his
concept.
name's not.
God damn it! Would you stop? The concept of watching all, and you and me both don't do it, but it seems like he watches all of wrestling, every single promotion, and it seems
It seems that way, but he doesn't.
exhausting.
He watches.
But the amount of stuff he does, he was sitting there telling me at Forbidden Door, and I'm like, God, that sounds just exhausting.
He watches Raw, SmackDown, NXT most weeks. Watches AEW most weeks. He doesn't really watch anything outside of that. But like even that is still like Monday, Tuesday,
He
Wednesday,
named
Thursday, Friday.
You named 4 shows, and I only watched one of them.
Yeah. Like I don't know. I guess because we look at it and we're like, oh yeah, we pay attention to what happens in WWE and like we watch AEW and stuff. But like
We get the cliff notes of WWE.
we hit the cliff notes.
They're
At least
like,
I hit the cliff notes.
This thing happened, and then this thing happened. And
I
then,
get the cliff notes. But like we don't watch like AAA. We don't watch New Japan.
I don't even know how you'd watch AAA.
AAA. I'm not sure. I know New Japan launched a New Japan World subscription thing, like how the WWE Network has their thing. But yeah, there's like a lot of stuff we don't watch.
Yeah,
I used to
mean,
watch Lucha Underground, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I felt like it was a lot of fun. It was super over the top. You had to like really suspend your disbelief sometimes, but like it was essentially like merging professional wrestling with like this throughput storyline of there was magic and there was
So like storytelling.
yeah, it was like mixing a fantasy world with professional wrestling. Like things like all the there really wasn't any like there wasn't like promos, right? Like everything was done very cinematically as if they were like as if you were like watching a movie, and there was like storylines that would like start at the beginning of like the season, they'd go all the way through. There was injuries and stuff. There's like legitimate like killings and shit. Like they could kill a character off.
What the fuck?
Like character there was like it had a lot to do with like Aztec like stuff like there were a couple characters that got like sacrificed and
That's
and stuff, and it was fun. I thought it was fun.
what the hell?
What do you mean what the hell?
I just in general that just sounds it just sounds weird. I'm sorry. I was trying to look up some of the matches for this week on Dynamite.
I know that Swerve and Our Glory won the tag team championships.
Yeah, no, I meant like this Wednesday coming up.
Oh, coming up.
But dude, let's
We
talk
got
about
the
that.
barbed wire everywhere.
Yeah, but that's the only match I could think of besides Darby Allin and Brody King.
Listen, they don't need to announce anything else. I'm watching.
Okay. Just because of the barbed wire?
Barbed wire everywhere, man.
Okay.
And the JSA is going to be locked in a shark cage
Yeah, I still don't understand that, but okay.
because it ties in with Shark Week.
I get it, but I don't get it. It's like, oh, okay. Why?
Because Shark Week is paying them a bunch of money to do it.
Okay,
That's why.
fair enough.
Or the program, whatever, is paying them a bunch of money to do it. That's why.
Dude,
I was
just
adjusting my.
No, I just realized that you look in the mirror the whole time we record this.
I'm sorry. I just like my handsome face.
Oh, okay. But we have announced. Fuck. Why am I? Claudio is going to be fighting John Grisham.
At Death Before Dishonor.
Yes.
Great pay-per-view name. I know they've
You
had
said that last week.
I know they've had that pay-per-view name since the beginning of Ring of Honor. I still think it's a fucking awesome pay-per-view name.
But so yeah, it's we had. Did you watch Rampage at all?
No, I grazed what happened.
So, Private Party, of course, versus Lucha Brothers, of course, was fantastic.
Lucha.
Oh, I'm doing the other team.
Oh.
Shots. That's one of the things I love when they come out. Shots.
Oh my God, is that Private Party?
Shots. So yeah, great match. It was like the equivalent of like, Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers, where it's just like just crazy shit, jumping all over the place and silly flips and silly whatnots and all the stuff like that.
Yeah.
Lucha Brothers won.
Which made Andrade not happy.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was. I mean, I didn't clearly watch all of it completely because I'm trying to think of what happened with Chris Statlander and Athena versus whoever they fought.
Didn't they fight the new
baddie?
The new baddie.
And
Temporary was the word I was looking for. Temporary baddie.
Yeah, and Kira Hogan.
Yeah.
Kira
I think.
Hogan's
I'm
weird.
pretty sure.
Kira Hogan's weird. Just strange. Just a weird. Like the blue and red. The
Okay,
hair.
I got you.
The blue and red hair is weird. Just for anybody. Like, if anyone did that, it's just strange. It's very like Harley Quinn-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, but as far as Dynamite, we both text each other about the main event because I was blown away by the fact that I was like, okay, obviously the Bucks aren't going to lose it a couple weeks after they just won it.
Yeah. I also, Yeah, so A, right? I didn't think they were going to because they just won it. And B, I assumed that they were going to retain the championships because I assumed that we were going towards All Out with FTR,
and
which they could still do. I mean, FTR has a bunch of belts. Like they could still do Young Bucks and FTR for like the ROH belts or something, and then like Swerve and Our Glory can defend against somebody else.
probably Team Taz again. I think it's fun. Well,
That's
is the
one
thing.
that needs to be done. I'm
Yeah,
done.
it
I'm
has to be,
so
but
done.
After that, it has to be done. But I'm saying is that I do like the fact that they have not been able to beat them until they beat them for the tag team titles. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah, that is cool, and I'm totally cool with you know, I'm totally cool with that. I don't know. I'm ready for that to be done. I'm kind of tired of that rivalry.
I think I'm waiting for Team Taz to bring in Hook as like they could be a very dominant force with the three of them. And even if they bring back like Brian Cage.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they chose to go against. In my head, they very clearly decided to not include Hook with them anymore because Hook was getting so over as a babyface.
Yeah.
And they didn't want Team Taz to be babyface. They want them to be heels. So like they clearly separated Hook from that pack. Which also like it doesn't seem like Hook has been doing anything.
Yeah. At least recently, no. It's been like he's gonna lose steam because you can't keep going on doing this. I don't talk. Find out what I do next week.
Yeah, and I feel like you could do it maybe a little bit, and I feel like it might be more successful if it was like a constant thing, but like he's on the show so infrequently that like he doesn't gain any momentum. Like I felt like he was gaining momentum with the whole Danhausen thing because like it was consistently on Rampage or Dynamite every week, and now it's not, and like it just like ruined his momentum.
Yeah, I like what they've been doing with as of late, like the best friends have been like kind of just been put into situations that I like ever since we went when they were teamed up with when they were helping out Samoa Joe and then they were helping out with FTR and then it's just like whether it's Roppongi Vice or just the best friends, I like where they're putting them where they're like even now we're with the Wardlow match where they were coming out and for some reason Chuck Taylor had a chainsaw which just didn't make any sense, but
yeah,
it was so weird for them to be like we're gonna cheat and it's like that implication of we're gonna cheat and it's gonna be silly like I forget what Trent had, but like Chuck had a chainsaw and was just like why are you doing this?
I will also say that match was fantastic.
It was enjoyable to watch. I was surprised that, and that's the thing where like I was
worried it wasn't they weren't going to mesh because they are two completely different styles and they're also baby faces. So like, I didn't know if it was going to go well.
See, that's the thing where
and then it did.
I find it so weird because people like not to say that you do it, but like you can't hold anyone to what they are because like you could do really good.
Yeah, here's the thing, right? Like in my head, I was going like the issue is that Wardlow is a dominant like kill you baby
fucking
face.
rips his pockets out.
Yeah, Wardlow is a dominant kill you baby face, and Orange Cassidy is a funny gag baby face. And I feel like those might not necessarily mesh well because they're faces, because you can't have Wardlow dominate, destroy Orange Cassidy and then have Cassidy mount the comeback. Like you risk making Wardlow a heel.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying with a babyface and a babyface, you have to have it to a point where like if I was booking a match like that, if you have to get it to like such respect for both parties where you go it's going to come so close and then the person who's supposed to win is just going to win. Like for perfect examples like CM Punk and Hangman.
Yeah.
Where it's just like you might have a split group here for the audience. But as far as the ending, it should be not out of nowhere, but like both people get so close, and then that one person just wins it. The person that's supposed to win it just goes.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's such a thing of like when the match is over, it's just like what Wardlow did, where it's like I have respect for you. I'm shaking your hand. You did a good match with me. It was enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. It
And
maybe
you were trying to. I'm sorry, you were trying to explain it, and I just kept laughing because of the thought of him putting Wardlow's straps back on his
Yeah.
shoulders. That I was just thinking about that the whole time. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's like maybe not necessarily just about them being baby faces. It's about their styles and like will their styles mesh.
Yeah. No, I get you.
But like part of it is because a powerhouse kill you babyface is a different style than a powerhouse kill you heel.
Yeah.
And so like do the styles mesh, and they ended up meshing really well and doing really well.
Yeah.
Um
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's depends on who it is.
Yeah.
You could do a really good face versus face if it's it depends on the style. And I think both of those people are very easily able to work with
mhm.
and like kind of try stuff out with. So I think it really kind of works well, especially Wardlow now. I don't think back then he would have
Yeah.
with
On-
Pinnacle.
On a random note, did you see that FTR and the Briscoes is now going to be a 2 out of 3 falls?
I did. That
Yeah.
was announced on Wednesday or Friday? I
They
remember seeing it
they
on my
might have
TV.
announced it on Friday. It was done via YouTube. There was like a YouTube thing, so maybe they just like reiterated that it was on Rampage.
Okay.
But it was like a YouTube thing where they were like, you guys agreed to like a civil discourse, like conversation, and then they were like, it broke down, and like they didn't physically fight, but words were said.
The Briscoes seem like cartoon characters to me. Their personality wise. I'm sure they're great wrestlers. I've never seen a full match with them, but actually I have. It was it POC or whatever and Danhausen versus the Briscoes? Where like Danhausen was going to use the teeth, and then the Briscoes was like, yeah, I could use some of them, and he tried to put the teeth back in his mouth. It's
Yeah.
weird.
There was a part of me that was tempted to be like, should we order this ROH pay-per-view and watch it and be like I've watched some ROH, but not a lot,
Mhm.
and like a lot of my ROH viewing is like older ROH stuff, like not
Yeah.
anything that's recent. So like I don't really know like I know of Jonathan Grisham, but like I don't really know much of anything about him, and like
Well, now when I think of him, I go, oh yeah, the octopus guy.
and I don't know, I was like, this might be interesting, like if we were to watch it and be like,
I think
let's see if we
okay. So hold on. Now I'm gonna get
like it.
the Death Before Dishonor match card out, and we're gonna say who's.
I'm trying to think of what their other pay-per-view names. There was Death Before Dishonor. Go
on.
I'm really trying to think, but like I remember them being like, I remember some of them being like really good.
Possible major spoiler for Death Before Dishonor pay-per-view.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so this is what's announced so far. The matches. Finally, we're putting this to bed. Jay Lethal versus Samoa Joe.
Thank God.
Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia. These are all titles. There's no like just normal matches.
So far.
Jonathan Grisham versus Claudio Castagnoli. Who's that? I don't know who that is. Is that Cesaro?
That's Cesaro.
Oh, okay. So that's for the the ROH World Heavyweight Champion.
I'm not sure if you were doing a bit there or not.
I was. I know who Cesaro is. The Swiss Superman. So the Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal is for the World TV ROH Championship. The Wheeler Yuta versus Garcia is Pure Rules. And for the ROH Pure Championship, FTR versus the Briscoes is going to be a 2 out of 3 falls for the ROH World Tag Team titles. And then we have Mercedes Martinez versus Serena Deep for the ROH Women's World Championship. Just 5 title matches so far, and also cards subject to change. Do you think that when it gets more deep into it, that we're going to have more matches
I do. But also the pay-per-view's on Sunday, so like,
this Sunday. Oh shit! I didn't even look at this.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on the 24th.
I'll get a Liv Morgan for that one. Oh fuck.
So now I guess they like, cause like I feel like you need like 8 matches to have like a real like good like pay-per-view worthy card, or what I should say is a card that's long enough to be a 4-hour pay-per-view, 3-4
Unless
hours.
they're just focusing on their titles. I don't know. That's weird. Do you think they could put any like right now? Could you think of any matches they could just put in there and go? We're also gonna have the like in an AEW stance of like, well, maybe you could put an AEW feud over, but then that's weird. Like to just have an AEW feud and not have a title involved and just go. Like for example, like this is just perfectly just hypothetical.
Mhm.
If they were like Ruby Soho versus Ty Conti, and just be like, but that's not even ROH. That's
Yeah.
AEW. Because like the fact that they put all their titles into it, I go, well, what else could you do? Because when is ROH doing like I don't know when ROH does shows.
They don't right now.
They're just basically just pay-per-views, right?
Yeah, and this is the first one that
Since the Supercard.
yeah. Yeah, it's
Weird.
basically like a once a quarter like pay-per-view right now. I think Tony Khan is actively trying to get them to have either some sort of TV deal or like streaming deal.
The problem is going to be because didn't the Briscoes have an issue?
They did.
It was like something about gay
Something
rights
they
or
had
something like that.
said or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, which a lot of people had been surprised, or a lot of people were then surprised that Warner Brothers would allow Tony Khan to have them, be a part of another pay-per-view. I know that there were a lot of people who were surprised. They were like, "Oh yeah, but, most
Yeah.
likely Warner Brothers will want to stay
'Cause
away
after,
from."
after they lost the title at Supercard, they just went off to do. I think they went off to do NWA stuff because they were fighting somebody at NWA
Oh, were they?
right after they lost the titles.
I think they were also in GCW.
Maybe
well.
that could be it too. I mean, I remember watching them in something about fighting with another team,
Okay.
but they're very silly characters, and I don't know if they're characters or not. Like,
Don't
you
know.
you have those people that like, are you a character or is this you as a person? It's weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, so we are excited for the. I want to know what this is, but I know what it is. But I'm not so concerned on the barbed wire match this Wednesday. But more so the cage keeping members of the JSA in it.
Yeah, I assume the cage will be on the ground because that's a lot of weight to be holding above the ring.
Yeah, it's a lot of boys, especially with Jake Hager. It's a lot of boys. He's a big boy.
He's a big hoss.
He's a big boy.
Big hoss.
What's a big hoss?
I don't know.
Why'd you say it
A
though?
big person, because I've heard it said before.
Big hoss.
Big hoss. Random other really good ROH pay-per-view names. Final Battle.
Okay.
Best in the World. Glory by Honor.
Hold on a sec.
Here's the real question. Was Best in the World done, was that before or after
You think he got
Ju-
his moniker from that?
June 26, 2011? But was that the first one or the most recent one? Fuck this. I'm not looking.
Anyway,
Glory by Honor I think is cool. Supercard of Honor I think is cool. Death Before Dishonor is cool.
Supercard of Honor doesn't really put much thought into it, but it's still a good name. Just like Supercard of Honor. It's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I mean those are all cool ones. There's like other ones that are like New Horizons. Showdown in the Sun. I guess maybe that was an overseas one.
Showdown in the Sun.
Yeah. Man Up.
That one's kind of weird.
They're
Is that strictly all man matches?
I don't know.
There's no women's. No women matches.
Apparently they did a joint show with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which is called War of the Worlds,
That makes sense.
which is kind of cool. I think it's a cooler name than Forbidden Door.
Yeah, it's cooler. But I think it's just like kind of like that buzzword that they were using for a while, the Forbidden Door, to be
Oh
like,
yeah, it's. I mean, it was the buzzword. I hope they bring it back and do it again. I heard it did over $1 million in gate, and I think I heard it did over 100,000 pay-per-view buys. So
yeah. Um, yeah,
which is a lot. I remember one of the craziest. I'm sorry, I don't mean to take this
No, you're good.
away, but I
Go
remember
for it.
one of the craziest stats that I had ever that I remember hearing about with AEW was their first pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, because they had All In, but that technically was separate.
Yeah,
There
it
was an
wasn't
AEW.
AEW yet.
So the first pay-per-view was Double or Nothing. It did however many buys. I think it was like 70,000 or 80,000 buys or whatever. And I wasn't aware of this because I wasn't aware of like buy numbers and stuff. But I was listening to a podcast where they said, yeah, they did their opening pay-per-view, and their opening pay-per-view did better than any TNA pay-per-view did ever. Like TNA never had over, like when TNA did a pay-per-view, they never had over, I forget if it was 60,000 or 70,000 pay-per-view buys.
But just numbers wise, they were.
Yeah. Number wise they were above. And like now they've done like their last two or three pay-per-views have been over 100,000 pay-per-view buys, which basically is like double or more than double any number TNA ever did. And having it over 100,000 also means that, like, yeah, maybe even the 80,000s, I don't know, but like they are also selling more pay-per-views than WCW was when it was dying.
Wow.
Like they're getting more pay-per-view buys than WCW did towards the end of its tenure when it was kind of dying. They were
Yeah.
losing viewers and
Fuck
all
'em.
that kind of stuff. Which I just think is like really interesting. Like in my head, just to say like we are out. We've consistently every single pay-per-view outsold the best that
Some of the
TNA
best
did,
companies, yeah.
and we are consistently outselling the worst pay-per-views that the number 2 company who gave WWE a run for its money did.
Yeah.
Again, obviously there's like a huge disparity because like it's their worst pay-per-views and they were going downhill and all that, but like that's still like that's
Still
really
good.
fucking good numbers.
Still good. I don't, like I said last week, I don't want to make WCW or AEW make it like they are the child or brainchild of WCW, because I don't want to compare them to that.
No,
I think they're better than that.
yeah, I just for me it was really interesting to hear from
I get what you're
purely
saying.
like nothing about the creative or anything, just from a purely numbers perspective. It was very interesting. The WCW thing was interesting to me. I was more interested about the fact that they have outsold the best TNA pay-per-view
Yeah.
that ever happened. Every single one of their pay-per-views has outsold the best TNA pay-per-view of all time. Which that is like really like the fact that I don't know anything about the numbers, and like I wouldn't have guessed that, right? I would have said like, oh yeah, TNA was definitely doing 100,000 buys. And like they weren't. They were doing like half of that at their best.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's like blows my mind.
It's just so weird. Just the way the way AEW got started is weird to me, but I forget what I was going to talk about.
It's because the Bucks wanted to start their own thing. They wanted to change the world. They didn't want to go to WWE.
Well, they tried.
Although they almost did.
Yeah, I mean, Regal was talking about how he met them. He said they were always so polite, and they tried to try out. And
They admitted it, and like
I
Dave
love-
admitted
I
it,
love the
Triple
way
H has admitted it.
the way you start off, you make it seem like you're like, yeah, Matt, and Nick.
Yeah, Matt and Nick, they're just
they're
great
always
guys.
telling me about how they
Yeah.
tried to.
Like even Triple H has admitted it.
Yeah.
Like they were actively having discussions with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega about signing
It
with
always
the WWE.
It always reminds me of some kind of X-Men thing, where when it comes to joining WWE, when people are in the independent circuit and doing really well, it almost feels like a WWE or like a X-Men thing, where like when you get to WWE, you get this collar that has the WWE symbol on it, and it like dampens your powers. Like that concept of like, yeah, that person's gonna be great, but if you put them on this leash, they're not gonna be as good as they like MJF. Where it's like, they're not going to be as good if they're in this company as much as they are like full force, all in. It just reminds me of like an X-Men thing where it's just like their powers aren't used completely,
Yeah.
and you're taking away from that.
Da-na-na-na-na.
You have to do,
Da-na-na-na-na.
yeah, you have to do it more of because it's just gonna sound like you're just bored.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Didn't
Well, no, I was
I have
supposed
to
to
edit
be.
that later, and I'm gonna hate it.
I was supposed to be like down like because they got the collar on them and they're not.
Okay. Yeah.
Depressed is what I was looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
It's supposed to be like down like
Oh
like
yeah, I'm an X-Men now.
I'm an X-Men. I'm an Axeman.
I'm an X-Man.
Axeman.
So, what do we got? Do you know what we have for WWE coming up? Nothing, right?
They have SummerSlam coming up soon.
Oh, Extreme Rules.
Is it going to be in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
Not really.
Okay, you can anyway.
Why not?
You've already committed to go to my wedding that night.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, that's right. You did say
It's
that.
the same night.
We did talk about this.
Yeah.
I don't think we talked about it on the podcast.
Not on the
though.
podcast.
Shit, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to go anyway, so I'd rather go to your
Oh,
to
thank
your
you,
thing.
thank you.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny. I
You.
made a joke to Sabrina. I said, oh, WWE's having a pay-per-view the night of our wedding. What do you think if we brought in like a big TV and we had it like playing on the TV during our reception?
She gave you a look.
And she was here's her words. Now, again, I also think she was like, she knows I was joking, and so she was joking back at me. I don't actually think that what she said is the case, but her words were, it's WWE said no. If it was AEW, maybe.
I don't even think that's a joke. She would have been like, I'll think about
I'll
it.
think about it. She legit, she was like,
Was it
she
double
like,
or nothing? Maybe.
It's WWE, so no. If it was an AEW pay-per-view, I'd think about it.
She's like, is Sheeta on the card? Is Orange Cassidy on the card? Depends.
Yeah.
Um,
She was not happy on Wednesday.
she gave you. Wait, why?
Because Wardlow had to fight Orange Cassidy, so one of them had to lose.
Oh, that's true.
She loves both of them.
I didn't think she liked Wardlow.
Yeah, she likes Wardlow. I think the only reason she likes Wardlow is because Wardlow had that whole thing where she was like, well, he just fucking hit MJF already. And then he did. And then he like beat MJF up, and now she likes him. And I solely think if he didn't have that whole thing with MJF, she wouldn't give a shit about
Well, yeah.
Wardlow.
It's that story arc. I mean, that's what MJF is great at doing. He's great at making
'Cause
other
she-
people look good.
She hates MJF so much that now she likes Wardlow because of what happened.
But that's why you like him.
Yeah.
That's why you love MJF, because he makes people look better. You just don't realize it. Some people don't realize it.
so people don't realize.
I was gonna say when you told her about that, she gave you the people's eyebrow.
The people's eyebrow.
But yeah, it's SummerSlam coming up. Extreme Rules, which I'm guessing is not the next one, right?
No, Extreme Rules is October 8th. They have SummerSlam at the beginning of August, and then
You just gave away your wedding day.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. I just you want me to bleep it out?
Yeah, just bleep it out.
Not that it matters. They would still need the address, but
It's
sorry.
at
No.
and then they actually have a pay-per-view the same weekend as All Out. So Saturday is the WWE's doing a pay-per-view over in the UK. And
Day
it's
150.
Day 150.
Oh no, is that the England one?
Yeah.
What's it called?
Castle something.
Castle
I
something.
don't know.
Yeah. I remember it was Castle something. That's what they.
But anyway,
banner.
it's the same weekend. So their UK pay-per-view is Saturday, and then Sunday's All Out in September. Which one are you gonna watch?
It's a tough decision. It's a real tough decision. What timers are both of them on?
Well, they're on 2 different days, so you can watch both of them.
I don't want to watch both of them. I only want to watch one of them.
Okay.
You pressured me. It's WWE.
The UK one, I don't know because, well, when would it be on live? I don't know because they would be starting at like 7 o'clock UK time, which is like 3 p.m. here, I think.
I don't know.
Anyway,
We still haven't figured out what time we have to go see Jamie Hayter and then everybody else.
that's true. That is true. So All Out's in Chicago. Do you think Punk gets healthy enough and we unify the championships?
I hope so.
Punk and Ambrose.
I hope so. Why'd you call him Ambrose?
I don't know.
That was weird.
Yeah, Moxley.
This
I don't know why I
this
said
whole
Ambrose.
let me tell you, this whole episode, a lot of the stuff we talked about, we already talked about before last week. But I like just kind of just fucking around today. We're just like, I don't give a fuck. Just
Fuck you.
there's nothing really going on, so it's just kind of like we're just.
You know what we should do is shut this podcast off and start a new recording where we're watching Money in the Bank,
Oh,
where they have to scale the WWE,
That depends on
building.
how long it is.
the WWE building.
We should plan that for next week.
We should plan that for next week. This could be so. Oh my god.
Next week when we don't go to that thing.
Yeah.
Something I was gonna say about is the fact that he also doesn't do what I do, where I also do video game stuff. Where I'm like, that just seems exhausting because I'm doing wrestling and trying to make videos for my YouTube with video games and doing wrestling stuff. And I feel like there's a disconnect a lot of times where the people that are watching my stuff are most of the time not wrestling fans, which is why I try to have to dumb down some stuff when I put stuff in. Like so for my YouTube channel, I'm trying to make something that is during my solo gameplays is going to be this relates to wrestling, don't worry. It's going to be a narrative where you're going through, like I go through, the concept would be like kind of like a Doctor Strange 2, where like I'm going to different universes and all the universes are video game based. So I would go through and have to, like, I have this narrative that I want to tell throughout the gameplays. Like, the gameplays are normal, but in between the beginning and ends of them, they try to tell a story that's kind of overarching and connecting in some way. So badly do I have moments where I go, I want to have moments where I'm, like, meeting multiverse versions of, like, me or the Waffle Town, where, like, one of the ideas I threw at AJ, and it was just because I was thinking about it and it would be fun, was that AJ would be in the world of BioShock as this version of his little bird raven thing, but look like Momoa Aquaman, like just beautiful hair and has like the gold and the green with the thing. And I was like, I want so badly to do the Ethan Page photo shoot thing, where I go play my music and then play something, and so we're just doing like poses the whole time and just doing like things, and I'm like, not many people are gonna get that, but I'm just gonna do it anyway, because if someone watches it and goes, they're doing the Ethan Page photo shoot where Scorpio Sky goes play my music, and they just do a thing for like a good couple minutes where they're just dancing or doing poses. I was like, I feel like some of the jokes, they don't have to be dumbed down, but it's like stuff like I don't bring up jokes unless it's something like well known. Like, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. But anyway, I told that long story for the point to get to Ethan Page. Also someone I want to meet.
He's not going to be at Icons of Wrestling. Sorry.
I know. But I just want to meet him.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, possible talks about WWE changing their format to make it PG-14.
I did hear about that.
I don't know if that's true or if it would make a fucking difference.
It wouldn't.
And why is that?
Because all of their issues have nothing to do with, like, their issues don't have to do with, like, mature content. Like, you can do, like, good content that's PG. Like, their problem is that, like, their content is nonsensical and not coherent, and like adding a TV-14 rating to it isn't going to suddenly make it better.
Yeah.
You know, for a long time I was like, yeah, it'd be better if it was TV-14, and you know, like, as I've gotten older, I've having created things, I'm like totally realizing that, like, the fact that they're PG and not PG and not PG-13 or TV-14 or whatever it is, like, doesn't change the fact that, like, the product is shitty and, like, what they're doing is shitty, and, like, you can still tell good stories and be PG. Like,
yeah, I think
Disney is a perfect example.
Yeah, I told you about how I watch a lot of what culture wrestling, and they, like, Simon Miller explains perfectly where it's like the problem I have with it, where he's like, they're either roll-ups or disqualifications. It always ends in either roll-up or disqualifications.
Yeah, and that's not going to change.
Yeah,
if
and that's
they
what I'm
go
saying.
to
That's one of the
TV-14.
problems I have, where I'm like,
Yeah.
It's they'll set up a match and go, this isn't really gonna. It doesn't matter. After a while, someone's gonna come in and hit them anyway. It's kind of like a kid on speed. We're like, oh, it's just, or like ADHD. We're like, it doesn't matter. Just we're gonna. Oh, this person Miz came out and he's like just playing with his toys. I'm doing a little thing where so people can understand. I'm doing like the little action figures and like, oh, Mysterio is gonna get interrupted by Miz and then blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't fucking care.
There was
What was the point of that match?
a couple years ago, I forget what podcast it was, but a couple years ago, I was listening to, it was probably like 3-4 years ago, I was listening to a podcast where a guy was legitimately keeping count. So Raw, he would do Raw, SmackDown, and then the pay-per-views, and he had a distraction. It was specifically a distraction roll-up counter. So every time a match ended with someone's like music playing or someone coming out or someone jumping on the ropes and they would get distracted, and it would be specifically a roll up. He had like a counter. It was very funny.
That's what Simon does now with the ups and downs. He'll just do this whole thing where like interruptions, a roll up or a roll up or a disqualification. So it just doesn't really do. And like he's very with them, they're very like nice to the company. I'd be like, fuck these guys. They don't fucking. And maybe like it does. Do you ever think that like maybe this has always been the company? Like we just didn't notice it because we were kids.
Maybe.
I mean, I'm sure not in the Attitude Era, because I feel like people did their finishers and stuff.
That's a good question.
Because like Stone Cold always does like the stunner, and it's so easy to do.
Yeah.
And like,
but there were a lot of distraction things, or like interference and distraction during the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I feel like there constantly was people like running out and like jumping on the apron and.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's a good question.
It's weird.
Maybe we can find out.
Yeah. So
we'll do some research.
So next week
we
will be recording, and then we'll also be recording the Money in the Bank.
If you say so.
Well, it's your house, and I don't want to just show up and go, "What's up, bitch? We're doing this thing."
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we could do that.
Okay.
We can do that. Yeah.
Well, I figured because then we could be like, we're going to do a podcast, and then we're going to do that, or maybe Money in the Bank and then do that. I don't know.
It probably would make more sense to do Money in the Bank than podcast because then we could cut off our talking if we're just like going too long or we need to stop, as opposed to like, oh crap, we don't have enough time, we can't finish the match.
The thing with me is only because, and it's not a big deal, but me getting loosened up talking and then going, okay, you can go fuck around and make fun of this match. But that's not really
maybe we
that
could
big of a deal.
loosen up first.
Yeah.
Loosey goosey.
Yeah, a little loosey goosey.
All right.
But yeah,
I legitimately think it would, if we watch it, there would be so many things for you to poke fun at.
I'm sure I could.
It would be so
it's
much
WWE,
fucking fun.
It's not going to be that hard.
So much fun.
There's times I just watch Raw for like a good 5 minutes before I go, why the fuck am I watching this?
Yeah.
And just turn it off.
And the like ridiculousness of like the men and women's matches are going on at the same time. They start at the bottom floor of the building. They have to get to the top. But on the top of the building is also a ring where you have to put the ladder in the ring and climb the ladder. It's funny. It's funny.
We can
it's funny
maybe
as
we can
fuck.
Maybe we could talk next week about people that are just being wasted in that company.
Okay.
Because I just thought about Seth Rollins and being like,
my opinion. Here's what I would like, or what I would say. If we're gonna do that, I would love to say, like you come with a list of 5, I'll come with a list of 5.
Great.
See what we say.
Perfect.
But here's my twist to it. I want you to come with a list of 5 people who are being wasted in WWE. I want you to come with a list of 5 people who are being wasted in AEW.
Okay. Sounds good. That sounds good.
And we'll see which people we came up with.
Do we have to do it right now or just in general?
No. Like I'm saying, like, cause you wanted to talk about it next week, so I'm saying we come to the table next week.
But like, okay.
Oh,
like,
I see
for
what
example,
you're saying.
so like,
I see
for
what you're
example, one of mine would have been Luchasaurus about a couple months ago, but now it's like, oh no, they're using him pretty good.
I see what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
I feel like right now would be easier.
Yeah. Okay.
Than like overall.
Yeah. Because if they weren't using them overall, they're probably gone by now.
Yeah. Let's do who's being. He's on Impact now.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah. Who's being not underutilized or not utilized right now?
Next week
We'll do 5 WWE, 5 AEW.
And if you're listening now, tell us who you think isn't being utilized properly.
Yeah. Put it in the
Anywhere.
comments.
You could say your brother.
Put it in the comments.
Yeah, put it in the comments if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah. And then hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up and do all the things that will promote our show.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button.
Smash that subscribe button.
Yeah, depending on what you're watching on. Again, I feel like Kibbles keeps throwing stuff at me again, but it depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, that's it. I think we've talked about enough stuff.
Yep.
Again, today it's just nice to just talk about whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't really stay on one subject, but we just
There's
had
a lot
fun.
to talk about.
Just fun. There's nothing really going on, really.
There's a lot to talk about.
Is there?
Sure.
Like, we know that the cage thing is happening, or the barbed wire thing is happening.
Yeah,
but
barbed wire everywhere.
But there's nothing really else going on.
Also,
as
did
far
you
as-
notice they kept changing it? At the very beginning of the show, they said the one commentator was
Yeah.
like barbed wire death match,
Yeah.
and then later they were like barbed wire everywhere, and then by the end graphic was like barbed wire everywhere death match, and I was like,
oh,
what
okay.
the fuck is the name of this match?
Yeah, I felt that was weird that they kept saying barbed wire everywhere. I'm like, wasn't it a barbed wire match?
Yeah, I was like, are we not allowed to say death match
So,
anymore? Like,
well, my implication that I thought was the fact that maybe they were gonna have the ropes as barbed wire, but now they're going, oh no, there's just gonna be a lot of barbed wire everywhere,
yeah, I don't know.
and they're still gonna be normal ropes.
I guess
Oh my god, the Painmaker's coming back.
the Painmaker. You know, the last time we saw Painmaker was when he fought Nick Gage.
Yeah, just ordering some Dominoes. Anyway, thanks for listening. You can listen to everything. I mean, if you found us, then you can listen to them on anything, not everything, but most podcast places. And then also, if you're listening on my YouTube channel, Pookie the Wolf, hit that subscribe button, all that stuff. And we're gonna talk next week. We got big stuff going on next week.
Mm-hmm.
We gotta do big stuff to keep us from going to that event and
Do the
meeting
needful.
people. Yes, do the needful.
Do the
That was
needful.
your new thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that from? You said.
Um,
You said that before. You have to just keep saying it after every end.
do the needful.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching or listening. Bye.
That was all perfect, right? But and then for him to like go into like he eliminated me from the battle royal, and so I was like, I'll ride his coattails and cash an extra paycheck, and I'm like, this is storytelling. This is I have a reason for what I
Yeah.
did, and
It's not going. You fans didn't believe in me.
correct. Which is if you go and look at Becky Lynch did it. You
Yeah.
fans didn't believe. I was like, when
were
they're all
so-
still cheering you.
they
What the
were
fuck are you
so-
talking about?
So against her on that one. She was trying so hard to pull that on off.
Yeah.